Hey, what's up guys, it's Silva Costin here, and today I have my chain beat deck profile for May 2018. I'm sorry guys, I didn't have a video this weekend. I currently have finals this week. I have 3 finals on Friday, and I'll be done with my freshman year SMU. And then after that, we'll make some more videos over the summer, and we can just get on with it. But I had a request for this chain beat deck profile, and I'm more than glad to show you guys what this deck is, because some of you guys actually don't know what chain beat is. And I love running this deck, especially in 2013 when they actually were popular. I love playing this deck. These cards were so cheap back then, and I love running it on DN and on Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro. So I got the cards. But yeah, that was 5 years ago. And honestly, I have not touched this deck in a long time, because honestly, it's not that great, but it's still cheap, it's still fun. And you know what? There are some new cards and some new things that Master Rule 4 can bring to this deck that I would love to show you guys. So let's just get on with the deck profile. So if you don't know what chain beat is that chain beat has two parts of it. We got chain and we got the beat. So we got the chain cards, chain monsters are Wind Up Rabbit and Evil Swim Thunderbird. So they have their own differences. So let's go Wind Up Rabbit first. Wind Up Rabbit basically says that during either player's turn, it's just a quick effect, right? You can target one wind up monster, which will be mainly the rabbit itself. You can target a rabbit card. You can basically banish this card whenever you want, honestly, right? It's a quick effect, right? And then it returns back to the field on your next standby phase. And Thunderbird says that during either player's turn, a quick effect when a card or effect is activated. So that is one thing you have to keep in mind of, that you can only activate Thunderbird when a card or effect is activated. You can banish this card, but it returns during the next standby phase, so you can return during your opponent's standby phase. And he also gains 300 attack, so he'll become 1950, which, especially back then, was awesome, right? It would go over Thunder King with the extra 50 attack, so that was really great. So these are the chain beat part of the deck. So, which that means that, like, if any card or effect activates, especially if you have Thunderbird or Rabbit, you can just banish these cards and avoid the destruction or avoid whatever happens to them. That's why Dark Hole and Torrential Tribute, they're amazing cards in this deck, because you can just Dark Hole your own field, and in response to your Dark Hole, you can just chain your Rabbit or your Thunderbird. They get banished, and then your opponent's monsters get destroyed, and they just come back, and then they have 1950, and they have 1400 attack. And with Tenki, they get their attack higher with Rabbit, like you can get to like 1500, 1600 attack. But these cards don't seem that like beat stick heavy, right? This deck is called Chain Beat. So where's the beat part, you might ask? The beat part comes in the next integral card in this deck, which is Black Garden. And Black Garden is like one of the best stun cards, but you can only run this in a few environments. So what Black Garden says, it is a field spell, which says that when a monster is normal summoned or special summoned, right? Except by Black Garden, you halve their attack, and then you special summon one Rose token with 800 attack and 800 defense to your opponent's side of the field. What that means is that any monster that gets on the field with Black Garden live gets their attack halved, right? So let's say you summon Thunderbird, you activate Black Garden, right? You chain Thunderbird, right? Because you can use its effect on your turn. Because it has a card effect that's been activated. You banish Thunderbird. You pass turn, right? It's your opponent's turn. Thunderbird comes back onto the field with 1950. And the best part about Chain Beat is that when they're returned to the field, they are not normal summon or special summon. What that means is that Black Garden's effect won't activate, which is awesome, because then they come back to the field with their normal set of attack. And that means any monster your opponent summons, their monster gets halved, right? So if you want to run over Thunderbird, you have to be like, what, 1950 times 2, which is, I don't even know what that is, like 3950, or maybe. Check my math on that, guys. I'm not that great right now. But you can see the point of this deck in which, like, you can just chain these cards off each other, and then since your opponent won't have really a response, because they can't really destroy these cards, right? Because you just chain away, right? And they can't run they can't run them over because of Black Garden, right? That's what this deck gets its like win condition from. That's why you want to get these cards as fast as possible. So that's why you run 3 Rabbit, you run 3 Thunderbird. Again, you can change the numbers of the cards to your liking. And then we have 3 Black Garden. I think you need to run 3 Black Garden. Of course, yeah, I run it. And then we're only running 2 Terraforming. I think you just need to run 2. Feel free to run 3 Terraforming if you have it. But I feel like you don't want to like just spam Black Garden, because we only run 3 field spells. It's not like you need this card like at all times to get your deck running. So we run that. And then for the next few monsters, you're just running like a sort of stun variant. So especially in 2013, I ran I ran the 1 Thunder King. So back then Thunder King was limited to 1, but now Thunder King is at 3. So feel free to run 3. I do not have 3 at the moment, but Thunder King is great because he stops your opponent, stops both players from adding cards from the deck to their hand. But he also negates inherent summons, right? As basically like a solemn warning, right? Which is great. And also under Black Garden, it's actually really nice. So let's say you summon this first and then activate Black Garden. Because if you do the other way around, let's say you activate Black Garden, you summon Thunder King, his attack gets half. He only becomes 850 or no 950. I'm sorry, it only becomes 950. But yeah, if you can have this card under Black Garden, it's basically giving a Moon Mirror Shield to Thunder King. No monster. There's a very few amount of monsters that's going to run this card over by battle. And if they do, and it's a special summon, you can just chip your Thunder King and negate it. So yeah, feel free to run more, especially in the stun variant. With a new stun deck right now, feel free to add Inspector Borders. I feel like Inspector Border could be a good card to run in this deck. And more Thunder Kings, because Thunder King at 3 is actually pretty awesome for this deck. I only have the 1, so I'm running just 1. And then I'm also teching in 2 Eater of Millions. You do not use your extra deck all that often in this deck, and I feel like Eater of Millions is a good out card. So there's some cards that some way you won't have an out to. But let's say they have a monster, right, and you don't have any field set up, right? So you can't really activate Black Garden because Black Garden won't have their attack. And you can't really summon Wind Up Rabbit or Thunderbird. That's why we have Eater of Millions, because Eater of Millions deals with almost any card. It banishes them face down, which is the best way to get rid of a monster. I only run 2 because you do have some link monsters, some link plays that you can go into. So I'm just running the 2. And then along with that, we are running 2 Banisher of the Radiance, 1 Dimensional Fissure, and 1 Macrocosmos. So back then, guys, the meta was all graveyard control, and I used to run 3 of these cards. But honestly, these cards still have their effects today. So getting cards out of the graveyard affects a lot of decks. Affects a bunch of decks today. So it's not bad to have. Also, Banisher of the Radiance is basically a Dimensional Fissure. No, it is a Macrocosmos on legs. And under Black Garden, he becomes basically a 3200 beat stick because you're gonna have to run. Actually, let's take that back. Your opponent will need a 3200 beat stick to run over this guy or crash with this guy. So these cards are still pretty great today. I still like running them, so let's run that. Also, I almost forgot. Black Garden also has a secondary effect. You rarely use it, but it does come up, in which if you don't want Black Garden anymore, you can use this effect to destroy itself, destroy all plant-type monsters on the field, and then special summon 1 monster equal to the total attack of these monsters. So the main play that I honestly see anyone going into is that if there are 2 rose tokens on the field, you destroy Black Garden, destroy those 2 tokens, then you can special summon a monster with 1600 attack from your graveyard, and one of them is Banisher of the Radiance. And along with that, one of them is Brotherhood of the Firefist Bear, which you're running 2 of, along with 3 Tenki. So we run 3 Tenki for the Rabbit and for the Bear. So I think you really want Tenki because you want Rabbit on the board as fast as possible. Along with that, you want multiple targets because let's say you have a Rabbit on board and you draw a Tenki, you want to get something else from the deck. And I feel like Bear is a good engine sort of to run. So along with that, Bear also has 1600 attack, so it works with the niche play of the Black Garden destruction effect. But also, it works great under Black Garden itself. So let's say you have Black Garden in the field. You use Tenki to summon to get a Bear into your hand, right? So you activate Tenki, you get Bear in your hand. You summon Bear under Black Garden, right? So Black Garden will half his attack. He'll become 800, right? And Black Garden will also special summon a token on your opponent's side of the field, right? But since you have Tenki, which adds 100 attack points to all Beast Warriors on your side of the field, he becomes a 900 attack, and then you can easily attack the Rose token that you just special summoned to your opponent's side of the field, and then Bear's effect will activate, getting you another Tenki set on your field, right? So there's that play. It's not honestly that bad. It's honestly not that bad, and he has the power to destroy a card by pitching a Tenki, which is actually pretty great for more spot on removal. So again, you run these cards. It's really not that bad because Tenki is such a great searcher card, along with Bear. And then next, we have just these spells and traps. So you run 1 Dark Hole. Feel free to run a Raigeki. But again, this is a budget deck. This is also a very outdated and old deck. I don't have my Rogekis because Rogeki was banned back then. But again, Dark Hole is amazing in this deck because again, you chain off that Dark Hole. I run one Dark Hole. I also run this one Monster Reborn. I think it's fine with the banishing like the Macrocosmos Dimensional Fissure because you want to like special summon cards. You won't honestly have those floodgates on your turn in a duel. You won't necessarily see them. And also, it's fine special summoning a monster from your opponent's side of the field. So that's always great. And next, we have 3 Pod Duality. Again, you don't special summon basically at all in this deck, besides the tokens you special summon from Black Garden. Honestly, that doesn't really affect anything. So even if you activate Duality and you summon a monster, you just don't special summon the token on your opponent's side of the field. And then again, you want the consistency of getting the common pieces you need. You want to see Black Garden as fast as possible. You want to see your Chain Beaters as fast as possible. That's why you run 3 Power Duality. It does not hurt at all in this deck. You run 3 of those. And again, now that I'm thinking about it, you feel free to run Desires. I don't have Pod Desires on me right now because, like, I don't know. I sort of don't want to drop like the $15 for a playset, but you can run Desires in this deck because banishing 10 cards doesn't really affect the deck at all. Like, you won't really like hurt the deck at all. So feel free to run that for some more consistency. And next we have 3 Torrential Tribute. This card is back at 3, and this card is so amazing in this deck because it's a board wipe. It catches your opponent off guard if they overextend, and it doesn't hurt your monsters at all for the most part. Like, honestly, all you're destroying is the Chain Beaters, which is fine because they'll just pop off. You'll destroy your tokens, which don't really matter, and you'll probably destroy like a bear or Banisher of the Radiance, or like Eater of Millions, but again, that doesn't matter if your opponent is going to summon a monster that will destroy those cards anyway. That's why you Torrential Tribute. That's why you run 3. It's such a great card in this format and in this deck. And next we have one of the quintessential Chain Beat cards, especially back then. Compulsory Escape Device. Some of you guys don't know what this card does. I'll explain to you. So Compulsory Escape Device says, each player chooses one monster they control, then shuffles it into the deck. And this card is amazing because it works well. It works like amazing with the Chain Beat cards. So the ruling on this card effect is actually really awesome. So let's say you have a Rabbit on board. You have a Rabbit on board and you have Compulsory Escape Device set. So your opponent summons a big monster, a big threat that you want to get rid of immediately. So you activate Compulsory Escape Device. And because the conditions of this card is that each player must control at least one monster, so each player chooses one monster. And currently on the field, you are controlling a monster, and your opponent is also controlling another monster. Then, upon activation, you chain one up Rabbit to banish itself. And let's say your opponent does not have any response, so chains happen backwards. You banish the Rabbit, and then next is you post your Escape Device with Activate. And now the effect says shuffle it into the deck. So the ruling in this card effect says that since you don't have a monster to shuffle back in the deck, it just honestly just happens, and then your opponent then shuffles the monster that they targeted into the deck. So like the ruling on this is crazy, but it works, guys. Promise me. I'm literally having flashbacks right now in 2013 when I'm fighting some like kid on DN. I mean, to be fair, I was a kid back then in 2013. What, that was 5 years ago, right? So I'd be 13. I'd be 13 years old. Yeah, but I was fighting like kids back then because they didn't know the ruling. Like they didn't think that it happened, but honestly, guys, it does happen. And the fact that it shuffles it into the deck is awesome. It's amazing because that's like one of the best spots to like get rid of a problem monster with, right? So putting monsters back into the hand is really good, especially with extra deck monsters, but putting cards back into the deck, that works with both main deck monsters and extra deck monsters, so that card is amazing. Rerun 3 Compulsory Escape Device, but feel free to drop it down to 2 or 1, whatever your liking is. Again, I just want to run 3 because this card was like the go-to card back then for the Chain Beat deck. I just want to show you guys like the history of this deck. And this card also is pretty great today too. And lastly, we have some more. We have some more like trap cards. Again, this is a budget deck, so like feel free to run any trap cards you want. My like personal belief is that like the trap parts of like these stun decks are literally just like any trap cards you have because they mainly do the same job. But right now I run 1 Mirror Force, the triple Storming Mirror Force, because again, punish those overextenders. This card is awesome. Like me looking onto today's meta, I feel like this card just like is so good. Storming Mirror Force is so good. So I run 3 of those cards. And then lastly, I run the Solemn Warning and the Solemn Judgment. Feel free to put Solemn Strikes. Again, I don't have my playset of Solemn Strikes because, like, how expensive is it now? It's like a $10 card for one, so I'd have to drop 30 for a playset. I'll wait on it. I'll wait on a possible reprint because I'm just like that kind of a budget player. But that's it for the main deck, guys. It's actually like such a solid main deck. And as for the extra deck, like I said, you don't really need a lot of cards for the extra deck. Right now, I just have some possible link cards. Again, these are my only link cards I own, honestly, guys. So you run 2 Link Spider. You run Link Spider for the tokens, for the Rose tokens. You run Proxy for the Link Spider and the tokens. Under Clock Takers, I mean, you have those spiders and the proxies. It's not a bad card. Then you run the Decode. But feel free to run Borreload, Sayuja, the good XC monsters. But again, this is a budget deck profile. It's honestly a fun budget deck profile. It's like not really serious. Just something to make your chain beat deck like viable-ish. So honestly, guys, that's it. I love showing you guys this deck profile. If you have any suggestions, feel free to put it in the comments below. If you like the video, feel free to show your appreciation for the video. That's literally quartered off Nim Nim. Honestly, guys, I watch this video so much that it's literally like in my mind right now. But if you like the video, like the video. And if you like the other videos on my channel, feel free to subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. And that's basically it, guys. Again, if you have any comments, put that in the comment section below. And that's it, guys. Double Costin out. Peace.